going to speak is karma cleansing. Before handing over the mic to our Assistant Professor Lalitha, I'd like to give a small introduction about her. Assistant Professor Lalitha is a senior solution architect at Stanley Black & Decker, a resident of South Florida for the past 24 years. She has more than 7 years of experience in Sky Yoga. She also holds MSc degree in Yoga for Human Excellence as assistant professor in Sky Yoga. She is actively involved in serving the community through her work as the Sky South at the Sky South Florida Center. She is handling vision courses, Sky exercises, and meditation. And today, Assistant Professor Lalitha is going to give us a speech on the topic karma cleansing. We are very happy to welcome you, Assistant Professor Lalitha. We are much interested in hearing your speech. Over to you, Lalitha.
Be blessed by the divine. Thank you very much, Bharati Madam. May the whole world enjoy prosperity, happiness, and peace. Thank you very much for all the organizers to making this happen. We'll start this with the blessings of the divine and our Guru, Vedatri Maharishi. Seeking all your blessings today to have this program be successful. Thank you. Today's topic is an interesting topic, which we all know already. Ma'am, if you don't mind, can I share my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Please let me know if you can see my screen.
We can't see your slides. We can see you.
Yes, Janavi's iPhone.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So today's topic is going to be an interesting topic. It's about karma cleansing. So what is this karma cleansing? So like we cleanse ourselves, we have heard about mind cleansing, we have heard about cleansing in general, but what is karma cleansing? So we'll talk about this topic. Before we start that, I would like to see what is karma, right? Like the perceptions of karma. What are the different perceptions of karma? The first thing that we all know is the laws of cause and effect. That is all we know about karma. When we say karma, we always say, it is the moral laws of cause and effect. It's a balance. Karma is often understood as this. It's a moral law where good actions lead to positive outcomes and bad actions lead to negative outcomes. So this is how one's life is affected. The another perception is it's a cycle of death and birth. So that is what it is. It's a cosmic cycle constantly going in. The other perception is like it is all about our intentions. So all intentions matter. The intentions behind an action is what it is crucial in determining karmic consequences. And that is one way. The other thing is responsibilities. We say, hey, we are responsible for our own problems. We are responsible for creating our own karma. That is one of the things. The other thing that we all know is liberation. So we need to have liberation.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes?
You have slides for this? Slides are not coming.
Are you not able to see my slides?
Yes, yes.
You are not?
Yes. We are seeing you speaking.
Sorry about that.
Doesn't matter, ma'am. No issues.
I hope you can see now. I'm really sorry. Okay. I hope you can see my screen now.
Yes,
sorry about that.
It doesn't matter, ma'am.
I kept talking.
What happens?
So we went up to liberation. So yeah. Okay. The ultimate goal is to break free from all of this karma. That is our liberation. That is one perception. The last one that I would like to bring is the boomerang, right? What goes around comes around. This is what we have as perceptions of karma, all the different perceptions of karma. So now I want to go into say, okay, all these perceptions are right, but what is actually karma? Karma is actually action. What is karma? So this is what we say karma yoga, karma, right? It is basically an action. So and they are called imprints. So the imprints that it creates, it could be good imprints, it could be bad imprints, or positive imprints, negative imprints. The imprints are born of what? Thoughts, first thoughts, then the words that come out of our mouth and the actions we do. So these create imprints. The imprints could be good or bad. Like I said, imprints actually determine the character or personality that we say, or a quality of an individual. So because that is why, and all our ancestors, old elders keep telling us, think good, do good, be good. So it is very important to create such positive imprints. So why is that? What is man, right? Like, because we are made of these. So if I consider a man, right, minus all the impurities, which is all our negative imprints, is God. Like Maharshi always says, I am in you, you are in me, God. So the other thing, God, if you consider the other way around in the equation, first God plus the impurities becomes man. That's what it is. So it is important for us to understand that these imprints are what makes who we are. So it's important for us to have, in order for us to have a good character, we need to have positive imprints, increase our positive imprints. So I would like to bring in one of the very famous, we all know, Thirukural, the number 5. I will first say this, excuse me, but this is Tamil words. So I need to say this in Tamil. Irul ser iruvinayum sera irevan porul ser pugal purindar maatu. This is Thirukural number 5. What does it say? Ignorance and faults afflict not those who gained the benevolence of the divine. What does this mean? This Thirukural emphasizes the protective power of the divine grace. It suggests that who are devoted to God, right, and live in accordance with the divine law and the virtues, they are shielded from the consequences of the evil deeds. Referred to as, what do we call iruvinai, the dual deeds, and which means that the ones that are good and bad. So if we could do this, then can we do everything I want to do and then give it to God to cleanse it? That's not the case. What it says is, in general, we have a protective power when we have the divine grace. That's what it means. So how do we do this? So before that, so we saw what is karma, what is our general thought process on karma. Then let us go in and say, where it all started, right? The genesis of karma, where it's all the different ways it comes up. So the genesis, where it starts, let's say it's basically starts from a survival mechanism. What is survival mechanism? When you say the plants, if you look at survival mechanism, is the cycle, right, of life. That's what it is. So if you go into this is, the plants are able to create their own food. That is the ability of the plants. But the animals, they are not able to create their own food. So what do? They kill for food, right? So but the human nature, if you look at human nature, we have a special power to create our own food. That is a difference. So we don't have to kill necessarily for food. That is the human distinction, because we are able to cultivate. We are able to generate food. So that is where it is. So we need to make sure. So the survival mechanism creates a lot of karmic imprints. So what do we do? So the beastly traits come from, it is because that's how the beasts were. They had to kill for food. But human nature doesn't have to. We work, right, for a living, and we take care of ourselves. We have the skills to cultivate our crops. Then the next thing that comes is through inherited traits. So what does this mean? We inherit. We have all known about Sanchita Karma. So we inherit all of these. So when it comes to inheritance, we inherit from our, hereditary, not only just because our grandparents, parents, grandparents, this also comes from the old time when we are being beasts, right? So it has been imprints in the human. It's coming from the accumulation of all our sin imprints. Then comes crimes that we commit. So the problems that we cause for ourselves. They're mainly harming others, taking a life, stealing, and depriving others of their freedom. So these are the human committed crimes that causes all of this. Harming others, again, killing, stealing, and depriving others of their freedom. The main. Then what are the consequences, right, of these beastly desires that we have? If we continue to have in the path of senses, right, where we give in to all these pleasures, what happens? We run after in pursuit of wealth, power, fame. That's what happens. When we run around, what are the sins that we create, right? Like what happens? This is what happens, right? Dishonesty, stealing, gambling, murder, and sexual abuse. These are known as the great sins that are committed by the human being. Why did this? It's a ripple effect. It's like, it goes into a circle. It keeps happening again and again and again. One leads to the other when we dwell more into all of these. So now we know what is karma. We understand where it is coming from. So what do we do? What is this karma cleansing? Karma cleansing, first we need to understand where all these are stored, right? The karma is like, if you look at it from a karma cleansing perspective, all the imprints are stored in Mooladhara. It is referred as a genetic center. Let's imagine this like a hard disk, right? Where it has all the imprints stored forever. That is the issue. This hard disk never gets corrupted. Whether we like it or not, it never gets corrupted. It goes on from life, one janma to the other. That is why it is important for us to do karma cleansing. So when you look at it from the genetic center point of view, it creates a permanent record. And it is called as, we mention this as characterized knots. That's why it's important to understand it's called characterized knots. This is what develops into a human being's personality, a character. So all the more important for us to have positive thoughts and positive ideas and positive thinking. As we know, we ended this meditation with twofold path. With Maharishi had fivefold path, where he talked about, depriving others of their freedom, live out of your own earnings. But then he said, okay, you know what? Let us follow two principles. Mainly, don't hurt others, mentally or physically. And second, he said, to the extent possible, I will help to remove the pain of others. This is what we take as an oath every time, every day when we do our meditation, this comes up. So he concisely put these two together and said, like, just this, follow just this, and life will get better. So it forms positive thoughts, characterized knots that will become a positive character. So why? Because this is what we have been mentioning about. It transforms into that, right? All the qualities that is an individual goes in. So the cleansing means getting rid of something in general. The word cleansing means getting rid of something that we don't like or unwanted. That is what is cleansing. So whatever is defiling. So karma cleansing means clearing all the negative imprints. That is what karma cleansing is. So it is noted that if we do nothing, right, like if we don't take care of this, let's say that we don't worry about a certain imprint that is in there. It takes 140 years for it to dissipate. 140 years. So anything we do, so every time we have a thought, it gets an imprint into our genetic center, which is our Mooladhara, which is base. And the Mooladhara has a divine connection, right? It is because we are divine. We are always connected to the divine, from where we gain all these insights. In a calm mind, we always gain insights. That's what happens, right? So the genetic center is the key for us to understand where it all starts from. So, okay, so we know what is karma cleansing. Now, why do we have to do karma cleansing? Okay, all this is fine, but why? Why do I have to do karma cleansing? For that, we need to understand three things. The three karmas that we always know: prarabdha karma, sanchita karma, and akamya karma. So what are these three? Prarabdha karma is something that we have acquired, right? Or like, I mean, in the sense, I will say why it is. Usually prarabdha karma is what we create, our own imprints. But we start with the sanchita karma, which is the hereditary imprints, which we get, contains the records not from just our grandparents, like I said, as a unicellular organism. So it is the power of all of that stays in us. And that's, we start with the sanchita karma, which creates the current prarabdha karma. We start with that. That is why it is acquired a little bit. Because when we are born, we don't know what we come with. But we start our life in an environment, in a situation, to our parents, in this, based on that sanchita karma. So that is where the prarabdha karma gets connected to the sanchita karma. Then we start creating our own problems or our own good deeds, which starts putting in these thoughts and ideas into our genetic center, which comes in as thoughts and mind. That's how it works. So it projects in such a way. All of this, then what is this akamya karma, right? The A means atma, and kamya means desire. So what the soul desires, the atma desires. So these imprints that are born of all our desires, if we don't keep cleansing them, they will be carried over. That is the akamya karma. That is why for akamya karma, we do one of the important, very powerful meditation is Agna meditation. Why Agna meditation? Agna meditation is where we focus between our eyebrows, the third eye. That's what we call it, the third eye, where we are brought into constant awareness. When we are brought into constant awareness, we will not falter. That is the idea. So if we don't add more to carry back. So that is the idea of akamya karma being handled by Agna meditation. So everything has that. Prarabdha karma, we do Turiya meditation. Sanchita karma, Turiya Tita, that actually takes care of everything, all the karmas. So the transformation of thoughts, that's what happens. Our thoughts transforms into actions. These actions actually strengthens our imprints. That is why it is very important. If you all remember Mahatma Gandhi's three things, right? Like the three monkeys, eyes closed, ears closed, mouth closed. So see no evil, talk no evil, hear no evil. So same way, don't think of negative thoughts, no negative thoughts. Don't speak negative things. Don't hear negative things. Positive. Let's keep things going positive, because the results of our actions are again stored in the genetic center, and it takes time. Thoughts shape the quality of the genetic center. So these impacts, that creates an impact. All these imprints have an impact. They can lead to either happiness or suffering. So it depends. And again, it influences not only our personality, and because of that personality, it also influences our behavior. So we'll start creating a chain reaction. So Maharishi says, you as the consciousness within me, present, show me the universe and all its content. So he's saying like, we going inside, deep inside, we should be able to see. So, okay, we saw karma, we talked about all this. Okay, enough of all this cleansing, talking. Like, let's get to the actual doing, right? How do we do this? So we saw why we do karma cleansing. Now let's say how to do this. What is this karma cleansing? How can I do this karma cleansing? The role of worship and deeds, right? That is the most important act, actually. Worship and deed, like, thinking of the divine, God worship, removes ego and illusion. God worship, God is us, the divine, that is present everywhere. The divine is in you. It's in the same divine that is in you. It's in around us. We are made of stars. Have you heard of that? Most of the things, I'm made of stars. That means that we are made of the same thing. The divinity that is in the stars is the divinity within us. It is the divine everywhere. So that is what we need to worship. It removes all our ego and illusion. Noble deeds, they help eradicate the imprints. Again, positive. What is this? The sixth sense, perfecting the sixth sense. That is important. How do we achieve that? Achieved through mind and genetic center purification. That's what it will do. That requires, what does that mean? We have to eradicate all the sin imprints. Well, how does that happen? There comes introspection. The introspection is going deep inside you and understanding. It's a thought analysis. Maharishi has given us a lot of ways. Neutralization of anger. He has given, beautiful words that he picks. He didn't say, eliminate your anger. He didn't say, suppress your anger. He said, neutralize your anger. That means it never comes back up. It's like, acid, and you know how you compensate it. So alkaline. So that is what it is, introspection. Though helps understand ourselves, our shortcomings, what we can do, and how we can do it. It's the method Maharishi has given us. Multiple introspection, eradication of worries, thought analysis. There are many things. As part of the introspection is also what we do, which is, who am I? Atma Vicharam. That's what, Ramana Maharshi says, Atma Vicharam, which is understanding Atma, like keep questioning. And that is what it is. Who am I? That is the process. Meditation provides, what do we do? Why do we have to do meditation? It gives us mental strength. It gives us a virtuous life, how to do it. And all these different meditation practices, which I had mentioned, helps us. Agna meditation eradicates the akamya karma. Turiya meditation removes our prarabdha karma. And Turiya Tita is the only one that can help us. The Sanchita karma also can get eradicated. All the imprints. So the sages have been given us all of these, right? Like they have been giving us thoughts. They've been giving us the process. Can we follow that? Problems arise from our ego. That is the base for everything. And again, that is caused by the imprints that are created. The imprints that blemish our soul. So what can we do? 3 methods: expiation, dissipation, neutralization. These is the 3 methods in which how we can do karma cleansing. So I'll explain a little bit more. Expiation, performing good deeds, right? And, repent for everything. Maharishi gives an example for this. He says, for example, somebody is, sitting with their legs extended. You didn't realize it. You were walking, hit their legs. Accident. Immediately, the other person gets upset. You get upset. That creates an imprint in both sides. The negativity creates an imprint. But the moment you say, oh, I'm so sorry, I should have watched where I was going, the other person says, oh, I'm sorry, I should have, like, it's okay, I should have kept my legs, like, in check. This is what happens. The moment that happens, the repentance when your side, then that making of amends happen on the other side. That expiates it completely. So it's very important to be, humble. It's very important to be aware of what's happening. And when we know we are wrong, it's important to realize that and ask for forgiveness. Then comes dissipation, superimposition, countering evil deeds with continuous good deeds. We made a mistake, okay? And I'm going, like they say, right? If you want to hide one lie, you will create 9 more lies to hide it. Instead, if you speak the truth, you don't have to remember what you said as lies. And remember all the 9 lies plus the 1 lie that you did, like all of that. Instead, if you speak the truth, because that is always the truth, you will always remember. So that's what they always say. So counter all the bad deeds with good deeds. So try to make it, compensate for it. That doesn't mean that you can keep doing bad deeds and try to compensate, because then that is like, a dog chasing its tail. It's never going to end. Then comes neutralization, the third one, merging with the divine. That is when you can neutralize everything, which is what meditation is going to. So again, in Manavalakalai, which is Maharishi's way of living, it's not only physical exercise, Kaya Kalpa, introspection, which we have multiple things in the introspection, and sublimation, it's an important aspect that we do, meditation. So all this is what Maharishi's whole Sky program that he has given us. So what is this sublimation? If I talk about sublimation as a scientific concept, it's something that goes from solid to gaseous state. The liquid state is not there. Example, dry ice. When dry ice is exposed to air, it immediately becomes gaseous state, which is what's used in many dramas and other things where they put it in and create the smoke effect, the fog effect. That is dry ice. Okay, so what has that got to do with what we are talking about? Okay, we'll see what is this. The temperaments, the 6 temperaments that are very known, needs to be handled. And how do we handle? How do we sublimate that completely? That is the concept. So if you look at the first one, which is greed. Greed is the first one that needs to sublimate. Okay, how do we sublimate greed? That means I want more and more and more. That is greed. How do we sublimate it? Contentment. We have to learn to practice contentment. That's how we can sublimate it. The next thing most every one of us deal with is anger. How do we do anger management? What is the answer for anger? Patience. It happens because we don't have the patience. So we practice patience. Then comes miserliness, right? I don't want to cut cost. I don't want to do this. I don't want to hold your hand, be like, not to give to anybody. The opposite of that is philanthropy. That's how do we manage that? Then comes immoral sex. That comes with chastity. That's the most important thing. That's how we handle that. Then comes vanity. How do we handle vanity? Right? It's a huge one with parity, balance. That is what is important, parity. That's how we handle the vanity piece of it. I am higher than you, you are higher than me. Like, all these thought process, that's what we handle vanity with. How about vengeance? How do we handle vengeance? Sorry. Vengeance is another thought. It keeps happening. So the only way to handle that is forgiveness. This is how it is. So how to do this karma cleansing? This is what it is. Again, expiation, dissipation, neutralization. These 3 are the key. Okay. So to summarize, we will go into some of the details, actions and the genetic centers. So we'll go into the actions that defile the genetic center. So what happens that creates this, that defilation, right? Like what creates and defiles our genetic center? A review, again, this is the increased mind wave frequency. This is all pent-up desires. It creates an increased mind wave frequency, agitation, all of that. That creates that. Then dishonesty. Harming others is another one. Deliberate cruelty. And then the harm driven by all these negative emotions, jealousy, anger, vengeance, all of that we just saw. And then indulgence. So Maharshi also has a method for this. He says limited method on 5 things that are very important. Food, work, even rest, thoughts, and sex. All these 5 things have to be in a limit and method. It's very important to handle that. So that's why indulgence and indifference we need to watch out on. Then comes laziness. Don't have a lazy bone in your body, right? Laziness. Failing to utilize the physical and mental skills is what it is, laziness. So let's go into, again, the actions. Now we know, what do we do? Okay, we understood all of this. Actions that purify the genetic center. It's very important for us. So what do we do? Again, Maharishi gives us another thing. Respect the 5, which is father, mother, guru, the government, the rulers, and God, the divinity. Respect the 5. We always know this in other Mata, Pita, Guru, Devam. But he's also saying the rulers. Like, have, some kind of respect to those who are there and guiding us and leading us. That's the idea. Then comes adherence to 3 things. There's even a short video where Maharishi talks about cleansing of karma with 3 things. Morality, charity, and duty. These are the 3 things through which we can. Moral life, make sure our duties are done, taken care of, and charity. It's our duty to give back to our community. That is also one of our duties. So we need to understand what duty is. Charity is not just giving away money, giving time, sitting down with someone who needs, going and meeting older people and helping them out. All that comes under charity. Then we have to think about what other things can help us. Meditation, of course, meditation helps us. Physical exercise helps us. And taking care of the family. It's very important. Good care of parents, life partners, right? Like our life and our children. They all consider that. Then realizing, like, taking care of natural resources. That's another thing. Living in harmony, realizing the divine, living in harmony, cultivating love and compassion. And the last one, but not the least, it's very important, which we all need, especially in time of day, is universal respect. Respect each other. That's the most important thing of no culture, like don't worry about culture, cred. So in summary, we'll go through quickly. Imprints, good and bad. Good imprints produce pleasant results. Bad imprints lead to pain. Human versus animal behavior, we need to understand that. Animals kill for survival. And they don't have a moral implication. Why? Because they don't know how to make their own food. And that is their way of living. That is the survival mechanism. But not for us. Humans can raise their own crop and avoid killing. So the human life tainted by all the evil things like harassment, which is why I mentioned respect, killing, stealing, deprivation of others' freedom, all this we talked about should be avoided. Life cycle and soul's journey. On that topic, we talked about parents as like previous births, children for subsequent ones, right? Like where we carry over this. The fertilization is reproductive cells of father and mother, not only creates just as a human being, but also gives them the imprints that are there. So that's why it's all the more reason for us to be more and more purified. The after death, the soul, basically we say reincarnation, right? Similar to, so the soul attaches and again continues to purify itself because the soul, like I said, it's a hard disk, it's stored. We need to make it clean, cleansing the hard disk. If we can reformat the hard disk, great. Right? That is the whole purpose of this, reaching divinity. The purification process, ridding this of self-imprints, becoming one with divine state, purifying the mind and cleansing the genetic center. What are the practices in that purification process? Noble deeds to cleanse, right? The main manure of the temperaments, which we saw as a sublimation process. Then the three things: expiation, superimposition, and neutralization. Meditation. Then comes introspection. And the third thing, which is a very important one that we practice, and it's been practiced for many days, it's maunam, which is vow of silence. If we can practice that even for a few hours in a day, it's great. It's not the don't talk. It's controlling your mouth for talking, eating, everything. And no devices, no reading books, no you and your thoughts, and be quiet and observe yourself. That is the vow of silence. So with this, I conclude the topic. Any questions? I'll be happy to take. Thank you again for this opportunity. Hope you all enjoyed this session. We can have more conversation. Be blessed.
Yes, madam. Definitely, we have enjoyed this session a lot. Thank you so much, ma'am. It's a very deep subject. You explained so simply and beautifully. Yes, all credit.
Maharishi
Whether
did
the
that for us.
Maharishi has come through you and given all these answers. So it's very, 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 very interesting topic. And we enjoyed your speech very well, ma'am. And you also mentioned about this monkey concept, Gandhiji's, that is about this thoughts, words, and deeds. They should be always positive. That was very nice. And also, that is, you brought in full Vedadriyam to say meditation, introspection, sublimation, and that all these things leading to perfection. Hats off, ma'am. Thank you so much. And dear friends, it's discussion time. Anybody having questions? Please raise your hands. We will discuss with Lalitha, ma'am.
வாழ்க வளமுடன்.
Yes.
வாழ்க வளமுடன். It was a really, concise way of telling how much Maharshi has said and done for us. It is a great, great, great job that can never be, explained, but it has to be felt. And I think the main three impurities within a man is ego, imprints of sins and illusion. That I know Maharshi has given us a very good way of self-realization, that is inner travel, psychic practice, and that is mainly to get rid of the ego. And you also mentioned 3 different karmas. And I was wondering if anybody is going through some difficulties, how do we know that it is through one of those karmas? Like if I have to become a widow, whether it is my heritage karma or my own karmas, the day I was conceived, or I've been collecting that knowingly, unknowingly, how do you explain that?
Very good question, Dr. Vijaya. This is my thought process. Please, there are so many others here who can also talk on this. From my perspective, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter, because why we try to search for this is to find peace, saying, I didn't create this. As long as I didn't create it, I'm okay to take it. That is what happens. So that is why we go in search of these things, saying like, who created this? What created my karma? It does not matter. It does not matter. We don't create anything because we are divine. What has happened, right? Like in the sense, what can we do to go one step forward? Instead of looking back, we have to look forward. Don't use the rear view mirror. Let us look forward, right? It might not sound very convincing, but that is reality. Because if you go in search of that, we will never find an answer. Whether we created it or we got this, and we have heard this in Tamil, they will always say, "Na vaangindu vanda varam appadi." They will say that that's what I brought it in. Like that's been my gift, that's been my boon to get into such things. That is wiling of thoughts gets into this and gets into negative, create more negative imprints. Instead, if we say, okay, this is what it is, let us face forward. Even this is not just Maharishi's words, right? If you look at Eckhart Tolle's speech, he talks about the same thing. Instead of dwelling in the past, this is the situation. Understand, accept the situation. Let us see what we can do. Don't worry about who created this because it's already there. It's not going to solve the problem if we continue to do in this path. Instead, what can we do to get out? Accept the Zen theory that says, is that so? Right? Like, is that what it is? Okay. What can I do to move this forward? That would what will help us.
Okay, I know even Bhagavad Gita has, the third chapter, so many on Karma Yoga, 43 shlokas. And I was reading somewhere in Karma Yoga book of Maharshi, and he said the best mantra, beyond the regular mantras is just blessings. So anytime I see somebody, turning away, oh, she's coming, so she may be a bad woman, so we should not tell her good things, Kalyanama Ardo, Veetla, something like that they don't want to share. And so I perceive that in a different way, and I just, see their innocence of not realizing the truth that we all go through the same thing, we are all born, as karma itself says, like you said in the beginning itself, birth and death. So we are in a cycle. So I feel so bad that they have not realized the truth, and I just keep blessing them. That's all I'm doing.
Absolutely, the right way. That is
Mhm.
another topic for another day. Actually, we
Oh,
have had
yes, absolutely.
about this.
Absolutely.
Blessings are the most powerful thing because it's a thought wave, right? It's a frequency. The frequency, the four processes that it goes through. We know that reflection, refraction, penetration. So what happens is that it's important for us to understand that we keep blessing and we keep blessing ourselves to have positive thoughts and not get affected by these. We continue to bless ourselves, continue to bless the world, and these positive thoughts create positive imprints again in our genetic center and in the universal magnetism. That is what is important. That means our thought goes into this world, it goes through, and that's why they call it as a butterfly effect. It is a scientific term which talks about butterfly effect, where the butterfly flutters its wings and it creates a series of action that happens, the domino effect. Very simple things that moves things. If a butterfly fluttering its wings can create a domino effect, imagine how our thoughts will be. They will
I
say,
can imagine like
days my
one drop
grandma
in the pond. Yeah, one drop of stone, in the pond, how many ripples you get. It's
That is why in my
unimaginable.
picture, I'd put ripples as the main thing. That's exactly what it is. It creates
Yes.
unnecessary ripples, and that is not required. Instead, if we focus our mind inside, in Tamil, the word kadavul has two meanings, like kadavul, be inside you, kadavul, or
Ulil,
kadavul,
yeah.
which means that kadandu ulsel, which means that go
Yes.
inside yourself. And meditation. So this is what is key for us to get rid of all our karmic references, right?
Right. That's what I feel is inside out.
Inside.
Welcome.
Exactly. That's a beautiful movie. If you have seen Inside Out, it's a very profound
Yes.
concept. Actually, very profound concept. Though it is for kids, I refer to this in our kids teens section too. Inside Out is it's a very beautiful movie. It talks about emotions, how to handle emotions, and Maharishi's introspection helps us thought analysis, eradication of worries, neutralization of anger, moralization of desires. Who are my introspections? These are the key for us to move deeper and deeper into this.
Yes,
you.
right. Welcome, madam. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. It's a beautiful question and excellent answer. Very interesting indeed. Anyone else? Many have written in the chat box about the excellent speech you have rendered. Thank you so much, ma'am. We will be happy to hear your speech on and often on Vedadriyam. I once again thank you, ma'am, for your excellent speech. And dear participants, thank you all for your participation, continued participation. Please bring in more of your relatives and friends into our circle so they will also enjoy the bliss as we are all having. And dear friends, I have got some announcements to be made. And now, latest Anu Rajesh to everyone. Wonderful speech and great explanation. Yes, thank you, Anu Rajesh. Yes, indeed, what you said is correct. And we have foundation courses being conducted twice a month. That is starting from 1st and 16th of every month. And also Kayakalpa course on the second Sunday of every month. And also to know more on our Sky Yoga, you can log into www.kundaliniyoga.edu.in. Just make note of this so the website, and you can just log on to find out more information, and also YouTubes and all on the speeches and all. And dear friends, apart from this Saturday, we are having meditation daily. That is morning 6 a.m. and evening 6:30 p.m. sharp, followed by thought for the day from the book of Maharishi, Blossoms of Life. Please do join for this daily meditation also. Thank you all, dear friends. Be blessed by the divine. Awesome explanation from Hamsa Rama.
Blessings of the divine and our guru, Vedatri Maharishi. It's a good session. Thank you, madam, for this opportunity. It's not easy to do this every week, to find someone and talk about it, discuss this topic. And I'm so blessed to be part of this
It's all
session.
Guru's blessing. I thank Guru for this.
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
We'll meet again and again, ma'am.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Subjects on Vedadriyam.
Yes,
So
definitely.
interesting, so simple. Yes, I
That's
myself
the power
enjoyed
of
a lot
Maharishi.
together with all participants.
Yes, right words. He uses amazingly right words in everything. And that is the, power. And we are blessed
Yes,
to read and hear.
Vedadriyams.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, madam. We will disconnect now. Thank you.
My God, madam. Be blessed by the
Perspective.
Thank you. Welcome, madam.
Thank you.